Well, hello there. Welcome to Talking Tennis, and you join us today, dear viewers, as we're getting some comments in. Hello, Ashley. Lovely to see you here with us. I'm hoping that you'll be watching this second semi-final alongside myself and Kira. Between Maria Sakkari and Danielle Collins. And Danielle Collins is serving first, and she's going to be stepping up to do that right now. Danielle Collins is still wearing the same sort of outfit as before, sort of green skirt with the white top. I haven't seen even Maria Sakkari in action yet, but the first serve delivery is into the net from Danielle Collins to kick us off. We are hoping that this semi-final lives up to the absolute epic that we just witnessed between Jessica Pegula and Daria Kasatkina, with the Russian player Kasatkina coming out on top. Very sort of looped backhand from Collins, but that's followed up by a monster backhand up the line from Danielle Collins. It's 15-love. And as Josh is saying in the chat, when Collins is on, there is very few that can beat her. And she's been proving that these last few weeks, winning Miami, semi-finals here. She is finally putting together this level that we knew that she had, and she is showing it consistently. Maybe it's because she's playing with a bit more freedom that she knows her impending retirement gives her. We've got a second serve, by the way, coming up from Danielle Collins. I will be joined by Kira very soon. So looking forward to talking tennis with her, especially talking about the previous semi-finals. Collins goes out wide with the second serve, backhand cross court. Oh my word! Umpire's going to check that one because it was called out cross court. I thought that was a winner, just missed, 15 all, and Collins accepts it and heads back to the baseline. Haven't seen much from Sakkari this week because she's been playing at a point where it doesn't suit my time zone. But look, she's putting to get. She is also showing great consistency after the Indian Wells final, after quarterfinals in Miami, only just now losing to Rebecca, and now it feels like a good opportunity at Charleston. But Collins is another beast indeed, as Sakkari goes into the net with a backhand, having it's under a bit of pressure from the Collins backhand, and that gives Collins a little bit of advantage in this game. So we're just going to be coming into this now. Co-commentator has logged in, so she can add herself when she's ready. There we go.
Hello. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Nick.
Are we still recovering from the two absolute simultaneous epics that were going on in Estoril and Charleston?
Still recovering, and happened to lose my iPad at the same time. So just full-blown chaos, really.
Absolutely. Kira is so excited that she just doesn't know where anything is, and fortunately we all know where we are, which is good to see. So Collins is held to start off with. She is serving first. So I guess whilst we're waiting for warm-ups, because I've kind of given a bit of a preamble for this match. Let's maybe for those viewers who are joining us and maybe have just come off the back of the previous semi-final and what's going on in Estoril. I said, yes, let's start with the Charleston semi-final. I mean, which match did you end up finishing? Did you finish the Estoril match instead of switching over in the end?
No, I did switch over. I watched Casper Ruud lose the first set, and I thought, yeah, but it'll be fine. So I thought I'll watch Charleston, especially since we were doing this later. I thought I want to watch Charleston, and I was really intrigued as to how Kasatkina would get on against Pegula, and I was not disappointed. It was an absolute thriller. I loved it, actually.
It was so good, and it was great because they're both very similar players, very consistent ball strikers, great returners, great movers, great defenders. Pegula does have a bit more weight on her shots or consistently puts more weight on her shots, because I think some people get surprised by how hard Kasatkina can hit the ball. She doesn't choose to most of the time. And yeah, it was a case of Kasatkina just gritting out, going, nope, not getting past me, not getting past me. No, okay, you're ahead, now I'm going to come back. She just never counts herself out at all.
No, definitely. I think it was a real sort of, like you say, Kasatkina can hit the ball so hard, but she just doesn't. So it sort of felt like these two sort of defensive heavyweights. It was a real slog. A lot of the points were really long rallies because they were just covering the court, both of them, so well, and not doing a great job of holding their own serve all the time. But that was partly because they were just so good on return. So yeah, brilliant to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you were saying that, like, I think it's got to be down to one of Kasatkina's best wins of the year. I think also maybe there was a sense like Pegula was probably going, oh no, not again, because this was her third really close match of the week. And I do think clay was kind of the perfect surface for the kind of battle they were having.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I don't know, it was a weird one when it got to that match tiebreak. Pegula's obviously won 2 already this week. It was sort of, it felt a bit like, could she manage to eke it out again? Even Kasatkina said in her post-match interview, at one point in the tiebreak, I thought she's going to do it again, and and I did as well. Just the way she was able to sort of pick herself up. But I thought Kasatkina handled that tiebreak really well, especially when she went down early, and she sort of tidied things up. Even if she didn't win it on her serve, I thought to win it on the return sort of summed up the match.
We are into a bit of a rally here. Sakkari's just netted a forehand, 15-40. Collins already making break points to start this off. And this is what Collins wants. She wants to get the early lead and then sort of step on the accelerator here. She does not want to get into a fight with Sakkari right now.
Yeah, and she's accustomed at the moment in the last however many matches, I've lost track, to dominating, right? So she's going to want to start as she means to go on here.
It's about energy conservation as well. As that's great work from Collins. Move Sakkari out wide, force Sakkari up the line. Collins anticipates so well, has a running backhand cross court to break for 2-love. Really, really great start for this from Collins. Yeah, I think there's an element of she's been playing for 3 straight weeks. She kind of needs to not get involved in a long match, especially if she's going to stay fresh for Kasatkina tomorrow. And Kasatkina is going to make that one a real grind.
Yes, that's very true. Although I was quite pleasantly surprised by her match against Ons Jabeur, where after she lost that second set, I was a bit concerned about how she'd be able to reset for the third. Just partially because she's not had to in quite a few matches, and also because, like you say, you're playing for so long. There's a point at which surely you hit a wall of fatigue, but the way that she was able to come out in that third set completely refreshed was quite something.
Yeah, I thought that might happen as well. But yeah, this just shows how well Collins has been playing. And I was saying sort of on just now, like, she's consistently now putting together the level that we know that she can show. Yeah.
It's amazing to watch. I've loved the last few weeks watching her play. I've watched practically every match. And I think, I've seen some people, and I love it, saying, is Danielle Collins ever going to lose again? And I love that. And maybe that's a bit excessive. But on the flip side to that, I do think, at what point do we start thinking about her in terms of the slams this year? I'm starting to think about her in terms of the slams this year.
I mean, you have to think about her for the US Open.
Exactly.
For sure. The other two, I think it's going to, RG is going to depend very much on her clay, her European clay form, because this clay is a little bit quicker than the European clay. Now, she's a quarter-finalist at Roland Garros during very slow clay conditions, as she misses a backhand cross-court for 30, so peg back to 30-15. So there is that to consider, is maybe some of her advantage going to get neutralized by the surface, and then Wimbledon on grass, her game should suit it, but she's never performed that strongly on grass. Maybe that's to do with the movement that's required on it. It's been a bit different to a hard court. So I guess my answer to that would be yes, but I think she's going to be more in the mix rather than pulling away.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more of a, at what point do we start declaring her a factor in this year's sort of big competitions,
think
and I
and
think
for
we've
me,
got
that's
to
gonna
beat them.
depend on the rest of her warm-ups. US Open, she's already a contender.
Yeah, totally agree with you there.
Let's see if Collins can put away to maintain this advantage. She's got a short ball off Sakkari, but that's another short ball from Collins. But Sakkari pushes the forehand long, and she's already starting to get a little bit frustrated. Talking about she needs to be a bit lower when making the shot. 40-15 Collins, and look, as good as Collins has been at the start of this match, and I think she is forcing the issue more than anything else. Sakkari is missing a fair bit.
Yeah, she is making a few errors. You'd expect those possibly to clean up, but if Danielle can build enough of a lead here in the first few games of the set, then she might not be able to clear up in time to save this set. So that's probably what Collins is thinking now: is how can I pull away while she's still making these errors and give myself a good chance of getting this set behind me quickly.
That's not going to help her with the backhand cross courts gone wide, and she has missed about 3 of those. She's obviously won the break with one of them, but she has missed the backhand cross court a few times, so she's got to be careful with that. Sakkari gets that return in play. Collins goes cross court to the backhand. Now change direction to the forehand cross court, moving Sakkari around, who's sliding into that one. Collins goes back behind her with the backhand, inside out. Game. She raises her fists her box. She's already halfway to the first set.
It's just, it's unbelievable. Every match I've watched, I think, maybe this one, maybe she won't come out the same this one, but she feels so inevitable at the moment, even against somebody like Sakkari, who I feel like people haven't talked about her running this competition that much. I know maybe she's not had the toughest of opponents, but she's been really dispatching people going through this tournament so far. I think, she's not lost a set. She's only dropped 6 games per match, I think, off the top of my head, Sakkari. So she's been, dominant up to now.
She has. She's been really carving her way through this draw, and Anastasia, our colleague on Talking Tennis, and my co-host on Ground Pass, #shameless plug, has said that she's been quietly making her way through the draw. Yeah, absolutely right, Kira. As always, has not dropped more than 6 games in the tournament. She beat Tomova 6-3, 6-3, Sharma 6-4, 6-1, a tightly contested first set, and then Kudermetova 6-2, 6-4. And Sharma and Kudermetova are not walkovers. Like, Sharma's won this tournament before. Kudermetova is a top 20 player, couple of 500s under her belt, good on clay. So she and let's face it, I was saying Sakkari in the Sunshine Double has kind of showed that she's kind of she's kind of a contender again, because final Indian Wells, quarterfinals in Miami, and I think what seems to have happened here, maybe this David Witt sort of honeymoon period that she's with now with this coach, she's kind of in a position where she's hopefully eliminating the losses to players that she should beat, and she's only losing to form players, and it's that and making she's got rid of the thing that's holding her back, and she's just preparing to make the next step, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way of putting it, and I really hope she is preparing to make the next step, because I think a Sakkari at the top of her game is such a contender and such a fun watch. And if she starts to find ways to beat the top players as they are, then we could be in for quite a season for her.
She's a threat to the top players, I think, on the whole. Okay, her record against the top players hasn't been great in the last 2 years.
No.
I'm thinking Swiatek and Sabalenka, particularly. Double fault from Sakkari, as we're talking about her now, 15 all. But yeah, I think she's in the mix. But I'd say that she's currently maybe challenging Pegula for her spot as next best.
Yeah, rather than anything else further up. I can see that. Although it feels a bit like everyone's in that position at this point. But yeah.
I do think Pegula, up until the beginning of this year, had separated herself out from the rest of the field. She was, on the whole, beating people she should be beating. And I have to say, Charleston's been her best tournament of the year so far. Narrow loss to Kasatkina. Not a bad person to lose to.
Definitely not. That's Kazakhina's third final this year, or it will be tomorrow.
And third 500 final.
Mm,
I think who
yes.
she lost to? I think she's lost to Ostapenko and Rybakina in the other two.
Rybakina, yeah. Again,
Oh,
not bad people to lose to.
yeah, exactly. Great find up the line from Sakkari, 40-15. Do you watch What the Vlog?
I don't. I'm not a regular viewer. I really would like to be. It's one of those things that sort of escaped me up until recently, and I've seen bits of it, but not regularly. How about you?
I've watched a few episodes. It's hard to keep up with because they can be quite long, but I think it
Yes.
gives a very good insight into what the players experience behind the scenes on the tour. It is very Russian centric in that I think all the people who Kasatkina is friends with are all the Russian, Kazakh, Belarusian players, like that kind of region.
Yeah.
And so they're the ones who kind of appear on the pod. Having said that, Goff appeared on one of the last ones, so I need to have a watch of that because I'm quite interested to see how that one goes. Someone else has started one. Garcia, I think, has started one now as well.
Yes, and Leila Fernandez, I believe.
Oh yeah, Fernandez. Yes, no, that I jumped
Mm.
all over that one because I'm a big Fernandez fan.
Oh yeah, I like Fernandez. I've never met anyone who doesn't like Fernandez, actually.
No, I haven't either. I've got a
Mm.
fun anecdote. I saw Fernandez play when I went to Wimbledon last year.
Oh,
Went
nice.
to, well, yeah, day one of Wimbledon. Got into Wimbledon as the washout started, or like there was a rain delay, so I had to hang around for a bit. I was massively delayed in the queue because it took them longer than usual to process everyone because they were worried about protesters. Made my way eventually to the court, and then obviously watched Fernandez pick up. I can't remember who she was playing. She was playing a Ukrainian player, and her physio was sat behind me. And it was me and a couple of other people who were watching. Like, it wasn't. There were a few people watching, but it wasn't like it was court 14, so it wasn't a big court. And her
Mm.
physio was sat behind, and he's British, and he said that he was probably the only British person cheering for Fernandez during the US Open final because he was in her box at the time.
Oh gosh, yeah, he would have been, I imagine.
Very likely, yeah.
Yes, I wasn't cheering for Fernandez in that US Open final, I must admit, but I have come to cheer for her many times since.
Yeah, I'm in the same position. Like, I was definitely wanting Raducanu to win that one, but Fernandez, to me, like, since then has become the player I enjoy watching more
Definitely.
because the energy she brings.
Yeah, bit of a chance for Maria Sakkari here, by the way. While we've been chatting about Leila Fernandez, she's got love 30 on the Collins serve, and
Yeah.
just getting that foothold of holding her own seems to have ignited something with her.
Yeah, they had a long rally, which ended with Collins putting a backhand into the high part of the net, trying to go up the line. So Collins goes for the body serve there. Sakkari gets that one back. Collins goes up the line with the forehand. Backhand Sakkari to the backhand of Collins. Backhand Sakkari looped up. Collins going to have to come in on the short ball, puts it in the net, and it's love 40. That was a chance for Collins.
That was a big chance.
But now the chances are with Sakkari.
Yeah, really surprising not to see her put that backhand sort of away when she's so close to the net. I've got so used to her doing that recently, but yeah, big chance for Maria here.
Exactly. That's the kind of shot that she's been putting away all the time. So, okay, big chance here for Maria Sakkari as Collins serves, goes out wide, way out. So she's adjusting, getting ready for the second serve. Doesn't want to concede this advantage, wants to keep the accelerator pushed down, does not want this to be a big fight, Collins. She knows she needs to conserve the energy. Goes out wide again on the second serve. Backhand in play from Sakkari. Collins miscues the backhand long, and it's all back on serve. Sakkari strides back to her chair for this change of ends. Game on.
Yeah, break to love. That's I mean, I do think Collins, made some errors in that game. Definitely, it felt like she had that backhand, she put it in the net, miscued that backhand in the last shot. So part of it, is her fault there in terms of Sakkari breaking. But I do think Sakkari sort of made sure to get the ball in the court there, so made her play the extra ball.
Shwana, I agree. Fernandez was the MVP in Canada's BJK Cup victory, and I think she's kind of still riding the wave from that. To a
Yeah, that's
certain
a brilliant
extent.
point.
Probably getting like still not maybe consistently going deep into ones, but she's still getting 1 or 2 wins an event. Ghost saying Sakkari may be a bit lucky there. Probably true. We'll see how she kind of bounces back from this. I mean, going back to this match, I'm kind of glad the way that Sakkari's broken back, because I think a bit of a peek behind the curtain for the viewers. When we were talking about which of these semi-finals we were going to cover, we really couldn't choose. It was really hard, and we went with Sakkari versus Pegula because there's Sakkari versus Collins, because we felt there was talking points for both players, regardless of how close the match was. Whereas Pegula and Pegula, we had a lot to talk about, but Kasatkina's kind of made her way through the draw and hasn't had many talking points from the year so far. But then I was thinking like earlier, as Collins went 3-love up, and I was thinking this could be over really, really quickly, and we completely picked the wrong match.
Yeah, I really want this match to prove us right more than anything. So, yeah, thank you, Maria, really.
All right, so let's see how this goes. They're trading forehands at the minute. Maria's going inside out on her forehand. Now she's going to have the, oh my word, she has to go for the swing volley at the net. Really awkward shot, but she makes it 15-love.
Yeah, and that sort of shot that she just played with such great length on it, sort of only just in, which wasn't necessarily needed because the whole court was open, but that shows a bit of confidence, I think. You know, she's just broken back and she's going to whack that as hard as she can. That's a bit of confidence.
Yeah, I never know quite not how to classify Sakkari, because she's not quite a metronomic, consistent hitter in the same way as someone like a Kasatkina is. She has a bit more weight to her shots, but they're not the biggest.
No.
Again, Pegula's probably the best kind of comparison. Yeah, but it's kind of, she's somewhere between a pusher and a big hitter.
Yeah, I always find Sakkari a bit difficult to classify because I feel like she's got a lot of skills, and at her best, she's got quite a range of skills that she can use. But then obviously we've seen her play the last couple of years, and maybe she's not been able to use them, so it's quite hard to sort of classify where her game is.
It's interesting to talk about the skills that she's got, because I don't think of her as playing with a lot of variety. Like, it is all about the ball striking.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it is all about the boys. I suppose I mean in terms of the ball striking in the pace, the positioning, the angles. I think she can do a lot of that. She's not just going to sort of keep it in the court as much as she's going to go for shots that do something, that have an impact. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. And actually, you were right. Sakkari is someone who really does work the angles. By the way, speaking of ball striking, that was some great ones from Danielle Collins to force the issue and get to 15-30 in this service game. So Sakkari's got to serve. She's actually taking quite a wide service stance here, quite interestingly. And by that, I mean quite far away from the middle of the court. So she's going for a second serve here. The first one's hit the net. Second serve. Backhand Collins, cross court, missed. 30-all.
When she gets the second serve, Danielle Collins, at the moment, there's no part of her that thinks, oh, I'm just going to get this back. Every part of Danielle Collins, when she gets a second serve, now that she steps in, she's like, I'm going to whack this, and you're not going to see it. And it's, you know, it doesn't always work, but she does not give up on that shot.
Sakkari's going to be serving here at 30-all. Goes up the tee. Collins struggles to get that ball back in court. It was a really, really good tee serve. Really awkward for Collins to pick up in the backhand, and Sakkari missed to getting point 40-30. I mean, your description of Collins there, I would say that's made me excited for if she gets to play Ostapenko at some point, because if they're both just going for it, that's going to be utter madness.
Exactly. That's exactly what we want. I feel like it will happen if Collins keeps getting to late stages of tournaments. I feel like Ostapenko's showed a lot of promise this year.
Make it happen, please, as Sakkari gets an unreturned serve. Probably won't happen till Madrid, I don't think, because I think Ostapenko's playing Stuttgart, but Collins would still have to go through qualifying to play. And she's going to be second highest seed in qualifying. It's going to depend on whether she wants to play qualifying for Stuttgart or not, given her now current position, or whether she wants to go into Madrid fairly fresh.
Surely you'd think Madrid. The way she's playing, sometimes you think, oh, she's just going to try and play everything. I don't know, but you'd think Madrid.
That's what I would be doing, especially with the form that she's in. She's like, actually, she doesn't need the warm-up of Stuttgart.
No.
Really. Um, and I don't know. It's gonna be. I am looking forward to Stuttgart a lot, though. I absolutely love that tournament.
Same here. I'm really terrible because in my head it's just the Porsche place because I've always called it that. So when people say Stuttgart, it takes me a good minute to be like, oh yeah, the Porsche place. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
love that, which is so bad.
I mean, do you love that because of recent results at Stuttgart, or do you actually like the vibe of the tournament?
No comment.
No, we won't. We won't. We won't. I actually do really like the vibe of the tournament. Actually, it
I
does
do.
feel like
I do.
another kind of WTA finals type vibe.
Yes, I know what you mean. I think there is something about Stuttgart, and I think yes, obviously the results have been favourable to us recently, but I also think the tennis has been really good in recent years. So
Sean is saying he thinks Stuttgart should be a 1000, and I would say yeah, that would be cool in theory. However, I think part of the charm of it is it's such a small draw and all the top players are there, so it would lose some of that factor that I would enjoy. The other thing is, do we really want another clay court 1000, like back to back to back? Like that's 3 in a row then. I mean, I
I
wouldn't
don't.
mind swapping it for Madrid maybe, although I do think a lot of people really enjoy Madrid.
Yeah, and that court in the centre of the building that I've seen the last few days is insane in Madrid. Just so strange, but cool, I suppose.
I don't know if Stuttgart is the oldest WTA tournament. Schwarner, I will have to look that one up. I'm currently looking up to see who's playing in the US Billie Jean King Cup match. That's only because, like, I want to double check if Collins is actually in the US team.
Good point. As Danielle Collins does hold to love there to
Thank you
make
for
it
keeping
fall
an eye on the
through.
action. Someone needs to do that.
Just keeping an eye. We'll take it in turns. It's fine.
Good. No, you need to bring me back on track here. I get distracted very easily.
So do I.
See, I'm looking. I've got a lot of stuff to look up here now. Just looking up here. We go. But yeah, so Billie Jean King Cup, because I'm just curious to see if like Collins has got to deal with that as well. I know Keys is in it. Here we go. They're playing Belgium in the US. Here we go. Got it. No, she's not in the group. She's not in the US team. So she doesn't have to worry about that. The US team playing Belgium is Jessica Pegula, Madison Keys, Emma Navarro, Caroline Dolhide, and Taylor Townsend.
Okay.
They should be heavy favourites against Belgium, given that their players are Sophia Kustulas, Han van der Winkel, Marie Benoit, and Kimberly Zimmerman, who isn't even ranked.
There's no Elise Mertens.
No, Elise Mertens isn't playing. I think Belgium are probably really missing the days of Justine Henin and Kim Clijsters right now.
Oh, just a bit. That's going to be really tough.
Yeah, can't see somehow Belgium getting through that one. Like they could just play Navarro and Townsend, the US, and they'd just get through.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Yeah, especially on form. So many of those players are playing really well at the moment as well, not just their ranking.
Are you invested much? And actually, this is something for maybe our US viewers to chip in on. Are you invested much in the current US race, the US Olympic race? Because at the minute, there's so many US players in the right ranking, but you can't have more than 4.
I only found that out about a week ago when people started talking about Danielle Collins sort of and winning Miami and then trying to get in that race. I didn't realize that at all. So now I am very invested because I find it fascinating in terms of whether that's going to spur certain people on or whether they care that much about it. I know some of them really don't. So it's really interesting.
I can't think of, if we're talking about the players, because like we're pretty confident Pegula and Goff are going to be qualifying, and I think they want to play it.
Yeah.
I can't see any reason why they I don't think either of them have said that they're not that interested.
No.
then a case of it's practically between, unless someone else goes on an absolute tear, Keys, Collins, and Navarro for the other
Yeah.
two spots. And I can't imagine Keys not being bothered. Collins,
Navarro, I could sort of see
I can see Navarro not being bothered.
not being bothered. I don't know why. She might be really bothered, but I can see it if she wouldn't.
I think it's kind of the youthful attitude towards it, maybe.
Yes. Ben Shelton's been talking a lot about it, and I'm probably drawing from him.
By the way, the Stuttgart tournament's been around since 1978.
Okay.
But it was in Filderstadt originally. As we have to get back to the match, Collins is at break points.
She is, yeah.
Yeah, you've probably been watching the match. Yeah, she looks like she's forcing the issue again.
Yeah, absolutely. Just finding the angles and moving Sakkari around to a point where she just can't get to the ball in the end.
Okay, 15:40 break point chance for Danielle Collins to potentially serve for this first set for the match. Getting ahead of myself at 15:40. You should be used to me making really stupid slips of the tongue on this show. Second serve, Sakkari goes body serve, backhand. Collins long over the baseline. First break point save, 30-40. I mean, did you hear about the debacle that was my commentary on Thursday with Jerome?
No, I didn't, because did you say Thursday?
Yeah.
After I did the commentary on the match that I did before yours, I believe, I was out for the evening, so I didn't get to watch it. Was there a debacle?
Yeah. Well, I'll talk to you about it in a minute. It's because it's second serve for Maria Sakkari to try and save this break point against Danielle Collins. She's going to go body serve, backhand cross-court Collins, scooped up by Sakkari on the backhand, forehand Collins back to the Sakkari backhand. Collins is staying in the middle and moving Sakkari around with the forehand, gets on the forehand inside out, still moving Sakkari from side to side, backhand back behind towards the Sakkari backhand. Backhand Collins up the line. Sakkari has to run for the forehand. Not quite enough to finish the point. That she'll do it from Collins. Backhand up the line winner, raises her fist. She's serving for this first set.
Yeah, that was just masterful from Collins in moving her around. Not sort of ridiculously, but enough to put her off balance for practically every shot until she can't get to the next one. It's exactly what she was doing at the start of the first set. So she's gone back to it.
Yeah, Schwarner's now reminding us in the chat exactly what the debacle was when I was commentating. I kept on calling Azarenka Sabalenka.
I mean, so similar.
And it was starting to annoy people, I think. But
Really?
yeah, I eventually switched just calling her Vika, which helped. But yeah, it was happening way too much.
Well, I would have loved it. That would have kept me interested. But I don't know who these people were that were getting annoyed.
Yeah, it was this Azarenka Townsend match. Collins is now 15 love up, goes long on the first serve. Has to go for a second serve. Ghosty very happy with the situation. I've actually got a question for Ghosty. So, because I like to do my little hypotheticals, so they're trading backhands at the minute, the two players on court in Charleston. Sakkari then tries to change things up with the forehand, and it was the right shot, but she's overcooked it in 30 love Collins.
Definitely the right shot, though. I do think she needs to stay aggressive. I feel like it's when she gets a bit passive that Danielle's able to, like we say, move her around enough to get her to make the error.
So we go. Collins is now 2 points away from this first set, and in the Charleston Open, trying to get to the final to play Daria Kasatkina. Goes first serve into the net. She was going out wide there. Resets for the second serves. You see the advertising for Jersey Mike subs. I don't know if they're a big brand, but there you go. Second serve, very short. And my stream was lagging a bit there, but it looks like the umpire's disputing the return from Sakkari. She's going down to check it, and the return from Sakkari was over the baseline, 40 love.
Yeah, it looked into me, but Danielle marked it straight away. Said no chance. She was right.
I don't know why I'm getting the title of English Incredible Hulk. Is it because I'm so nice like most of the time, and then when I get angry, it gets interesting. You wouldn't want to see me when I'm angry. Just go on Twitter.
That's the one.
Second serve for Danielle Collins. She's trying to get this 40-love lead to convert without having to waste too many set points. And she doesn't need to because the backhand return from Sakkari into the net. And Collins strides to her chair. The setup. Another masterclass from Danielle Collins, Kira.
And I'd hate to, I feel like it's sort of expected at this point. She's going up against seeds like, Ons Jabeur earlier in the tournament, who obviously hasn't been on form, but is still a quality player. And now Maria Sakkari, who is on form and a quality player. And I still feel like Danielle Collins came into this the favourite. And if she gets to the final, I feel like she'll be the favourite there. It's a ridiculous vein of form she's found.
Do we think Kasatkina could has the ability to soak up what Collins throws at her?
I mean, in theory, I'd say yes, but in practice, watching her play right now, I'd say she probably won't. No, just because I feel like she's got another level to bring and another level to bring if she needs it.
And it's not unheard of for Kasatkina to be overwhelmed, and I think Collins would make short work of some of the short balls she'll get.
Yeah, definitely. And some of the rallies, I don't know, in the Pegula match today, I would say some of the rallies that were long and a bit of a slog and stuff, I can see Danielle just stepping in, hitting a winner rather than keeping that going.
Bastia, are you responding to... hello, by the way. Lovely to interact with you on a stream as well as on Twitter. But are you responding to the question of can Kasatkina absorb the pace from Collins? I feel like...
Probably.
I feel like we're on the same page here. Sakkari didn't know Danielle Collins was on the list of tough fights, and that's why I was saying earlier, Sakkari is doing very well, but still losing to form players. Those players being Świątek, Rybakina, and Collins is putting herself in that category.
Yeah, and no, I totally lost what I was going to say there. That left me as quick as it found me.
Blame the family. Never mind. I usually blame mine all the time. Doesn't matter for what.
Yeah, it's totally their fault.
Ghosty, here's my question for you, my hypothetical. You are the US Olympic team selector. Which 4 WTA players are you sending in to play for the US at the Olympics in the singles? I'm suspecting that you are allowed to ignore the rankings. I am expecting that you are probably not including Pegula and Navarro.
There's no way. Can they only have a certain amount of doubles teams?
I don't know about doubles. It must be something similar.
I'll Google it.
Yeah, go for it. Great return from Collins there, and Sakkari is just laughing and shaking her head because that return was just ludicrous from Collins, and she knows it was too good. Hello, Jane. How lovely to see you today, as always. Lurking in the chat, I see. So that's that Collins is still coming out swinging at the beginning of the second set, and we wouldn't expect anything else from her. Great first set from Sakkari, but it's an even better return from Collins on the forehand, who now has pushing Sakkari back with the forehand, and Sakkari goes into the net. And Collins is at 15-30, and she is coming at Sakkari right now.
She really is. So strongly as well. Like I said, I really think Sakkari needs to find something aggressive here to sort of hit back.
This is very similar to watching Sakkari try to deal with what Świątek was throwing her in Indian Wells. It
feels exactly the same. It feels like she's almost getting a little bit overwhelmed in the same way we said Kasatkina can. But you don't really think of Sakkari as someone who would get overwhelmed, but it's just those players, like we say, the really form players, Iga Świątek, Danielle Collins, who are able to do it.
You can tell that she's overwhelmed because she's double faulted, and Collins now has 2 break points to start the second set.
2 teams per nation, by the way, in the doubles.
2 doubles teams per nation. Do you know what? That makes sense, because I did see a tweet earlier from a Coco Gauff fan account that was basically saying Pegula and Gauff might be in trouble if they want to be a doubles team at the Olympics.
Yes, they could be. If there's only 2.
Yeah, so there you go. Pick your doubles teams. Like, who do you want as your doubles teams at the Olympics? Kenin and Matek Sands has to be one of them after they won Miami, surely.
You would think so.
Inside out forehand winner from Sakkari to take the first break point.
That's exactly the kind of shot she needs to make. and go for. I think she needs to sort of let this. I feel like she seems tight at the moment because she's obviously not come out as she'd hoped, but she needs to let go of that at this point if she wants to get back in this.
30-40. Sakkari serving. She's got 9 seconds on the clock, but it goes up the tee. Oh, she was going up the tee, but it comes off the top of the net and lands over the baseline. So she's have a second serve. Sakkari's frustrated that she doesn't even get a let cord off that. 30-40. Collins serves out wide. Backhand Collins way over the baseline. Sakkari jumps out the way, and deuce. 2 break points saved with some clutch second serves.
Yeah, and also the fact of Collins, just every second serve that she gets is just gonna hit it as hard as she possibly can, and that hasn't worked for her on those 2 occasions.
It works most of the time, just didn't work then.
Does.
Very short second serve that Collins immediately punishes and then goes up the line with a backhand, but she's just missed it. Advantage Sakkari. And she's a little bit annoyed that she's missing some of those critical shots because, you know, they were working for her, and they're why she's taking the lead.
Yeah, that one was inches away. It was the right shot.
Sakkari advantage, bouncing the ball. Goes into first serve into the net. Ghosty, I will make allusions to Iga Swiatek whether John is here or not. So tough. Advantage Sakkari right now. Second serve goes body serve. Backhand from Collins is really, really great return. And yeah, Sakkari can't deal with it.
That's why she does it, because it does work, like you say, most of the time. So she's bound to go for it every single time.
What's that line? So what's that line from Anchorman? 50% of the time works every time.
Works every time. That's exactly what she'll be thinking. I wouldn't put it past.
Yes, that's exactly what you want when you're playing a tennis match. Anchorman quotes.
Oh, whatever works. Whatever works for Danielle Collins.
Sakkari is trying to dispute a call, I think. I think her first serve was called long.
I think so.
So second serve for Sakkari here. She's still not out of this game, and this could end up being quite important for the momentum of the second set. If Sakkari could get this, forehand from Collins in play, forehand into the net from Sakkari. It's another break point, and Sakkari thinks about smashing her racket and pulls out of it.
She was going to, wasn't she? But
was that a gasp of disappointment that there was no racket smash, Kira?
It was more of a don't do it. I just I always think when you've smashed the racket, you've lost the game, and I just think if you can stop yourself from doing that, you're better off.
Forehand from Collins just clips the net and makes it over. Sakkari has to slice the forehand. Collins goes backhand, slice from Sakkari cross court. Backhand Collins cross court. Sakkari's really struggling to make that one, and she doesn't make it over the net. She makes it over the net, but it makes it past the sideline, and Collins breaks early on, and Collins looks like she's well in control of this semi-final. Ghosty, whose side are you on? Do you want Collins to win?
I'd like to point out, I think when you smash a racket mid-game, I don't think that helps anyone, because you're just letting it out and then you have to play again. I don't know what.
Ghosty's a big fan of the racket smashes.
Totally, but once you've lost the game, don't do it when you haven't even lost the game yet. That's so pointless.
Okay, you have to time the explosion.
Time your racket smashes.
It's like the Incredible Hulk. He's always angry. You let it out at the right time.
Exactly. You're going out with these Hulk quotes so readily. I love it. I don't know how many Hulk quotes I've got up my sleeve, but
I mean, to be honest, the only Hulk quote is the only great Hulk quotes are from the first Avengers movie, and that's my secret. I'm always angry, and puny God.
Puny God, that's my favorite one. That applies so many times in regular life. Of course.
I can't think what else. He's probably got a couple of other decent ones from future films, but those are the main two.
Yeah, I've got nothing.
No, I like not when we're trying to commentate on tennis match. And
exactly, I'm just so focused.
Sean is saying if Djokovic breaks a racket, it's over for you.
That's so true. And I was actually thinking when I was saying it, not Novak, but there's so many things I could say that apply to most tennis players, and you'd be like, well, not Novak, but that's because he's Novak Djokovic, so he's basically an exception to like every rule.
That is true. I mean, breaking rackets might be a great way of releasing stress, Ghosty, but I think you probably could suggest a few other ways of releasing stress. Probably couldn't put them on the screen, but they are.
And also, not in the middle of a game. I'm really passionate about this. I just think the message it sends across the other side of the net, not worth it.
Great. +1 backhand at the net from Collins, 30-15. The swing volley. Mwah.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I'm feeling like we've made the wrong decision, by the way. I'm going to say it. We've made the wrong decision.
The most interesting, contest. I don't know. Would you wanted to try and go for 3 hours on the other one?
I mean, it was so good. But I have done quite a few long matches recently, so
yeah, we need to rest ourselves a little bit. My voice was going at the end of Azarenka Townsend, but then I do insist on doing point by point,
and rightly so. For everyone out there who needs it. Oh, that's so good from Danielle.
Such a good serve from Danielle Collins. Yeah, I do what the person I most admire in terms of TT commentators, in terms of stint, was John doing the entire Djokovic Alcaraz match in the Wimbledon final on his own.
On his own?
He did it on his own for 5 sets.
He did not.
He did.
That's incredible.
Because I couldn't do the match. I was on my way back from stag do.
That's a good excuse.
Yeah. It was annoying because I had to I was slyly watching the women's final whilst on this stag do.
Rightly so. Priorities.
But yeah, whilst trying to be, semi-sociable.
That's sociable enough for me. Semi-sociable.
Most people were fairly accepting. Some were looking over my shoulder at what was going on.
Very nice.
So, okay, you would fully watch a Wimbledon final whilst on a hen do?
Oh, 100%. I would skip a hen do for a
Sorry, I'm not available that weekend.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to our viewers. I would totally do that.
Would you skip someone's wedding for the Wimbledon final?
Depends whose wedding it was.
Yes. Yeah, it does depend on it. Yeah, so I have missed the Wimbledon women's final for a wedding. This year, I'm keeping the finals weekend clear.
Well done. That is the right decision.
If anything, because Wimbledon, the one Grand Slam I've not commentated on a final of yet is Wimbledon, and I feel that's ridiculous.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, you've got to. Got to.
Yeah, I've done the US Open men's final 2022, both the last 2 Australian Open women's finals, the French Open women's final, and the US Open women's final from last year.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you've got to get Wimbledon in there, complete the set.
Yeah, especially if it's a women's final.
Yeah.
I mean, no objection to doing the men's, but
come on.
Yeah. That's where the action's at. By the way, Ghosty, fully agree with you. The way John kind of handled that sort of final Serena commentary was so good. That was when we were first starting out. So yeah, he was giving Serena a standing ovation for the last few points while commentating. Did the same thing with Roger's last match as well.
That's lovely.
Yeah. We're into a rally at the minute. Sakkari's at 30-15. Inside out forehand from Collins. Just clips the net. Sakkari's having to come in to the net because it's just gone short, and Collins' backhand hits the net. 40-15. Sakkari's got a chance to get the game on the board.
And in the last set, she did use that sort of ability to hold her own serve to break back. It's whether she can do it again here. She's not looking that sort of aggressive, pumped up ready to me at the moment.
Yeah. At least she's avoiding the bagel so far.
Yes, very true.
She's got to convert this, but I'm more confident of her avoiding the bagel here than the Indian Wells final.
Yeah.
Sakkari's going to be serving at 40-15, goes into the net, double faults, 40-30. The ball's stuck in the net.
It's broken the net as well, I think.
Has it actually broken it?
There was a tear in one of. I'm sure they won't have to do anything about it, but there was a tear in one of the bits of it.
Those balls travel so fast. I'm
They do.
not surprised. Yeah, Sakkari gets the first serve in play, but it looks like it's clipped the net, so she's got to reset for this one. So Sakkari's going to go to bounce the ball, going for a first serve again, goes into the net. So at the minute, she's struggling to not hit the net with these serves.
Yeah, and it's quite far down the net, that first serve at the moment. A few of them have been.
Second serve, finally gets it over. Collins loops the backhand over the baseline, and they change ends with Sakkari having a game on the board. Question from Sean: who will be the more emotional during their retirement match, Nadal or Djokovic?
Djokovic for me.
Oh, okay. Why do you think that?
Yeah, partly because I think Nadal's retirement, and it pains me to say this very greatly, will be a long, slow, painful, I'm going to keep trying retirement. I worry that, obviously we know that Rafa's body is really struggling at the moment, and he keeps pulling out tournaments, and I don't see that necessarily ending that soon. I feel like that could keep happening. So I think that could be quite slow, quite drawn out. By the time he does retire, I feel like it could be like a long time coming. He could have been processing it for a long time. I feel like Djokovic is I think he's going to sob.
Yeah. Hey, Jake. Lovely to see you as always.
Hi, Jake.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because Roger didn't get emotional during that doubles match at Laver Cup. Like during the match. Afterwards, it all came out. With Nadal, I think something similar would happen. Djokovic is the one who I could imagine getting emotional during the last game.
Yeah.
Like during the actual gameplay.
Exactly. There's just something about there's something about Djokovic, like Ghosty says, about Djokovic's prone for a much overdue emotional outburst. I feel like Djokovic is someone who's got more and more sort of emotional on and off the court, or at least been more willing to show us the emotion that he has on and off the court as he's gotten older. And I think when he retires, he'll be the same.
Yeah. I think we've seen plenty of instances like that throughout his career, whereas I think Nadal does hold things in a little bit more.
Yeah. At least keeps them for a private moment rather than a public moment.
I think regardless for both of them, it's all going to be a bit of a mess after the match. I do think Nadal will get emotional after the match.
Yes.
If he has a farewell match.
Which again, will that happen, or will it be a slow, clunky, I'm going to play this tournament, but I can't. Are we going to know when it's his last match? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think we will know. I think it's going to depend. I mean, like, it's looking a bit more positive. Maybe he's actually practicing serving now.
Yeah,
but he obviously is not playing Monte Carlo, which I thought would be likely that he was missing it. I think he's going to want to play Spain.
Surely.
Playing Spain.
But it's whether he can, I suppose. I still don't think he will unless he believes he's got any sort of chance.
We're into a rally at the minute. Collins going cross-court with the forehand again, getting Sakkari on the defence. Sakkari's trying to claim that the ball was out, but no, actually she's not. I think she's just sort of trying to dismiss the mark. 15 all. Yeah, Jake, I know you'll be emotional when Vika retires. Hopefully that's still a good few years away.
I would think so. I'm not seeing Vika retiring anytime soon at the moment.
I mean, she's 34. There's still that possibility of a career-ending injury happening. But in terms of her ability to compete with the top, she's still got 1 or 2 top-level years in her.
Yeah, and her motivation seems as high as ever to me. She doesn't seem to be just sort of sitting back enjoying the tennis. She looks like she wants to win something.
Backhand up the line from Sakkari on the return. Now she's moving around for the forehand inside in, but Collins has reached it, has to improvise that shot, doesn't go over the net. 15-30. Sakkari's doing the same thing as you were saying earlier, Kira. She's trying to get that boomerang break. She's trying to use the momentum from holding.
Yeah, it's exactly what she did in the first set. She does. I do think she requires a sort of slip from Danielle Collins to do so, but I mean, she's using her momentum here.
15-30, little bit of trouble for Collins right now. Goes out wide. Backhand in play from Sakkari cross court. Collins goes up the line with her backhand. Sakkari's going forehand with her cross court. Collins moving Sakkari around up the lines. Collins tries to go back behind on the cross court, puts it in the net. 15-40. Sakkari's got break points.
And that's coming from her moving Collins around in return almost, rather than just playing it back to her in the centre and letting Collins move her about. She's doing it back, which is commendable.
15-40. Collins is now stepping up here. It's interesting. She's either holding easily or conceding easily on these service games.
Yeah, no in between.
She's got to defend this on a second serve now. Danielle Collins goes into the service motion. Reaches up. Goes out wide. Back forehand in play from Sakkari. Back forehand Collins up the line. Sakkari's running for the backhand. Backhand Collins cross court. Just makes it. Cross court from Sakkari. Collins out the line with the backhand. Sakkari just about gets a racket on it, but can't do anything with it. And she's got her hand over her mouth. I don't know why she's done that, because that was just too good from Danielle Collins, and it's 30-40.
Yeah, she's getting annoyed that she's not taking the chance, but I mean, Danielle Collins just put it right where she couldn't get to it. So there's another sort of, I'm going to smash the racket, but she holds off again.
Yeah, don't smash the back racket when you need to use it to try and break here. Backhand in play from Sakkari for the first serve from Collins. He goes up the line with a forehand, moving Sakkari around again, and that works because Sakkari's gone into the net. 2 break points saved by Danielle Collins.
Yeah, it's good serving partly there, but she's also just, I don't think Sakkari's movement in the last 2 points has been brilliant.
So look at the match clock. It's been semi-competitive. It's 56 minutes. That's actually good going for how much of the match has been played.
Yeah, it's not been completely straightforward for Danielle Collins so far.
Ace from Collins. That was straightforward. And she does her fist pump spin celebration and advantage Collins. Come on.
I think she heard me. She heard me say it wasn't straightforward. She was like, I'll show you straightforward.
I'll prove that Kira wrong in Britain.
Yeah, go for it. I'm happy to see it. Go for it.
There's some members of the audience who are very appreciative of that ace. So Collins now has game point, having saved 2 break points here in Charleston. Goes out wide on the serve, backhand in play. No, it's not. Backhand was long from the return from Sakkari, and Collins holds and maintains the break advantage 3-1.
I mean, Sakkari's going to be really disappointed, as we can see from like body language and everything, not taking those breakpoint chances she had at 15-40. But I really think Danielle Collins just raised her level to save them rather than anything else.
Yeah, I agree. And do you think Sakkari's going to have some trouble holding here?
Yes, definitely. I think she's going to have massive trouble holding here. After that, we were saying it the other day, I think it's so cliche that when you have break points and you don't take them, you then struggle on your serve, but it genuinely does happen so often.
Sakkari goes out wide with the first serve, then follows up with the +1 forehand, moving Collins around, comes in behind it, goes for the backhand volley, and that's good. So Sakkari's coming into the net now, changing stuff up.
She needs to change something. So coming into net is one tactic that might work for her, I suppose.
Also, Sean, I have to answer your question. I don't think there are any racket smashers in Talking Tennis for the simple reason that none of us can afford to have more than one racket. Like, we're not these professionals who walk out with these bags of rackets. I have owned the same racket for over 10 years.
So you can't be smashing it.
No, like, I've thought about it a couple of times. I'm not going to do it because I have to then pay for a new racket.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Sakkari just clears the net with that return, and Collins goes into the net trying to pick up the short ball. 30 love.
Maybe she won't struggle to hold.
Sakkari believing herself more than some of the audience are, clearly.
Yes, which rightly so.
By the way, if anyone is interested, Damien and John did play each other in Estoril this morning. I don't know whether the result is able to be publicly announced yet or not, but it raised some eyebrows. That's all I'm going to say.
It certainly did. There were lots of reasons given, but
there were lots of reasons given. Yes. I don't know whether there'll be a live stream or an ATP Weekly that will confirm it. I think there was talk of. The reason why I'm leaving you guessing is I don't know whether they're planning on whether footage will be uploaded or not.
Exactly. We don't want to spoil it when they upload the full match for everyone to enjoy.
Sakkari's frustrated. She's gone long with a forehand. It's 30-all. Now it's a really critical point here. We've kind of moved on from Sakkari being in control to things being very dicey. She goes into the first service motion. Here we go. Goes up the tee. Backhand Collins inside out in play. Forehand up the line from Sakkari. Collins runs for the forehand and moonballs it. Forehand from Sakkari is being pushed back on the baseline. Now Collins is reaching for the forehand, going for it. Runs down that forehand, tries to go up the line with it and puts it in the top of the net. 40-30.
That was better movement from Sakkari as well than we've seen for the last few points.
Schwarner pointing out that Collins seems to be dominant on serve and return.
Yeah, makes sense.
But let's see how this one goes. Sakkari's going to have to serve again because that was a let. I do think Collins probably had the opportunity to get to be on break point here. She was pretty smart with the way she moved Sakkari around there, pushed her back, but again, into the top of the net with the forehand and into the top of the net with that first serve for Maria Sakkari. So second serve for the Greek player, 40-30. On serve, goes out wide, backhand in play. Backhand, Sakkari just clears the net. Now trading backhands at the minute. Collins goes up the line with that backhand. Sakkari's going to run it and hit the forehand back behind. Goes up the line. Such a good forehand winner. And Sakkari still keeps it just the one break advantage for Collins.
That's a nice way to win a game. Again, I just feel like she needs to use it more. If she was getting a bit pumped up, trying to get the crowd involved. I know they're obviously a US crowd. They're going to be pro Danielle Collins. But I feel like if she could get a bit more energy into her, then she could really fight back here.
Jake asking, anyone thinks Collins takes this form of momentum into a major? I'd hate for Collins to be drawn against one of my faves. I think we talked about this a little bit earlier, didn't we?
Yes.
Jake, you weren't here for that, though, so we can recover it for some of his benefit.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we were saying certainly the US Open, she's got to be up there. And I think in the other tournaments, I'm starting to think she's a factor. I'm not sitting here saying I think she's going to win Roland Garros and Wimbledon and the US Open, but I think it's hard not to see her as a factor and certainly someone that you're not going to want in the draw anywhere near you.
Roland Garros is the one that's obviously the most relevant because Wimbledon has a few unknown factors in there, right? Mm. Particularly with the grass, whereas we're seeing that she's got some good clay momentum now, but it's a long month. There's a lot of tennis to be played, and I think this next month is going to decide more because her momentum could stutter out and she loses first round of Madrid, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe not because Madrid should suit her, but
it should. It's really hard to tell if how she's playing right now is purely form and momentum, or whether there's almost a step up where I'm starting to think if she lost a match in Madrid, let's say first round, second round, or whatever it might be, would that totally halt this incredible form we're seeing, or would she be able to bounce back? I'm starting to think she could bounce back from that in the next tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think she probably could. I think there is a certain level of momentum to this. I'm interested to see how she deals with the break. By the way, Jake, I know that you don't want people had been drawn against your faves, and I would agree. I would be somewhat concerned to see Collins on the other side of the net from Iga or Layla right now on most surfaces other than slow clay. With Collins Azarenka, I could imagine getting very fiery.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
It'd be so much fun. Umpire's getting off the chair to check a Sakkari backhand has gone wide. She's double checking the mark. Seems to be dispute about what the mark is. Sakkari asking questions. Yeah, I think she's kind of telling Sakkari that the ball was out, so it's 15-all. Sean, you're quite right. Collins has bounced back from an early loss at the Indian Wells.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose I meant how she's going to bounce back after this ridiculous run of momentum that she's been on through Miami and this tournament. Sort of that halting, will that affect anything in terms of the rest of the season? I don't think it will, but
backhand cross court to the backhand of Sakkari. They're trading backhands right now, 15-all. Sakkari's trying to work the point, and she does with a great backhand up the line. It's 15-30, and that's Sakkari working things in her favour there.
That was really nice.
Jake, remind me who your other fave is. Is it, I think, list from the players off the top of my head, it would either be Kvitova or Mukova?
Yeah, Mukova was the one I was thinking of, but who else? I can't think who else hasn't played in ages.
Oh, Muguruza.
Muguruza. She didn't even cross my mind. That's terrible. I used to love Muguruza.
I mean, we're currently in, we're just not sure if she's retired or not at the minute.
I think in my mind, I've sort of assumed she has. The way she's been talking about it, it doesn't seem like she's got much motivation to come back, but
she was in a commentary booth in Spain for Miami.
Yeah.
So huge +1 forehand winner from Collins up the line. Too good. 30-all. So that was a really great moments there as Collins still knows that this isn't done, and Sakkari knows this is not done yet. Collins tries to go up the tee with that serve, but goes long. Critical point here. 30-all here in Charleston. Second serve for Danielle Collins. This is probably going to go into a rally, depending on how Sakkari deals with the return. Goes up the tee again. Backhand Sakkari inside out there. Forehand up the line from Collins. Long. 30-40. Break point chance again for Sakkari in the second consecutive Collins service game.
I really think if she wants to get back into this match, this is the point she's got to win. I think she's going to get so frustrated with herself if she loses another break point. She needs to really take this chance.
Collins, 30-40. Serves up the tee. Forehand shanked from Sakkari. I say shank, it was kind of forced because of the awkward placement of Collins, but deuce.
I still think she could have done better on that return. It wasn't totally into her body. It wasn't totally out of her range. It just felt like she didn't quite get it correctly.
Yeah, it definitely did not come off the sweet spot. It came off the top of the racket, looks like. Top of the racket head, sort of opposite end of the handle. As Collins goes up the tee with a great serve. Sakkari's return just about reaches the net, but doesn't go over, and it's advantage Collins. Very, very good serve.
Yeah, I mean, her first serve, she's actually served less first serves than Sakkari. I think when I looked a second ago, it was 51% first serves in from Collins. But when you look at first serves won, she's on 82%, Sakkari's on 54%. So she's using the first serves that she does get in really well.
Yeah. Far more effective on first serve and very, very good on the return, regardless of whether Sakkari's serving first or second.
Exactly.
They're trading backhands cross court. Collins is coming to net. It's passed by Sakkari. I thought Collins was going to finish that, but that passing shot from Sakkari was just too good.
Way too good. And Danielle knew it as well. She clapped it. It was brilliantly done to get back to deuce.
Oh. Sakkari spinning the racket in her hands. Collins getting ready to serve. Tense moments here. Goes up the tee again, misses it. Second serve. Second serve. It's about resetting here. Crowd are on tenterhooks. They've just seen an American lose. They want to see an American win. Goes up the tee again, but shorter from Collins. Now goes for the +1 forehand cross court. Sakkari scoops it up on the run. Cross court backhand from Collins is too good though. That's a winner. Advantage Collins. And great shot.
I thought Sakkari did quite well with the return, but left it so wide open for Danielle to just put that away.
Great shot appears on the big screen right next to her on court side, as if geeing her on, as if the entire world, this entire tournament, the entire this American crowd is willing on their home favourite right now.
That great shot board does make me giggle.
I mean, like, as a player, I would absolutely love looking at that. Like, yeah, it was.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely. It just almost feels like telling the audience that it's a great shot in case they didn't know. It just makes me giggle. Anyway.
Collins, however, that wasn't a great shot as she loops a backhand over the baseline and it's deuce. And Collins is actually looking like she's going to change her racket, so maybe she's broken a string.
Yeah.
Thinking about, I think when I was seeing that passing shot, I was like, that's one of the few good shots on my career as like amateur career. Was the first time I played my mate. I beat him in straight sets and I beat it, and match point, I hit a passing shot right by him. He was kind of like scrambling to get, he almost fell over trying to reach it.
Love it. That must feel pretty good.
It did feel pretty good. I was on my back Rafa-esque after that.
Perfect. Rafa-esque, I like that.
I am known for my somewhat over the top celebrations.
Good. I always think if I had my my old table tennis career over again, I'd become such a menace. I'd annoy everyone with my celebration.
Oh, Sakkari's clutching her wrist, or no, not her wrist, but like her forearm.
Forearms or just below the elbow?
Yeah, just below the elbow, like trying to reach for that winner from Collins' backhand. Collins' next backhand into the net. We're back to deuce.
Yeah, it didn't seem to trouble her on that forehand return, but
so it's, yeah, that was yeah, I mean, like, look at this rate, they're used to playing through some discomfort, right? You have to. She looks like she's stretching that arm out again just before receiving, as she's in the return position. Sakkari, maybe so keep an eye out for the trainer coming out. That's not something you really want. Elbows are not good things you want to have pain in when you're playing tennis.
Not at all.
Sakkari goes for the body serve. Collins, Sakkari gets that back in. Collins moonballs it. Forehand from Sakkari. Forehand inside out from Collins. The Sakkari backhand cross court. Collins goes cross court with her backhand. They're trading backhands at the minute. Now Collins changes direction. Sakkari's forehand goes to the Collins backhand again. And Collins backhand is wild. And it's advantage Sakkari, who fist pumps.
Yeah, I mean, that whole rally, it felt like Collins was on top, but just one wayward backhand and breakpoint Sakkari. Still clutching that forearm though.
This match does feel very much on Collins' racket.
Yeah.
The question is, can Sakkari use this momentum to get it on her racket? It's the second break point of this game. Bearing in mind, Collins has already saved a couple in this set as well. Goes out wide on the first serve. It's too good, unreturnable, and Collins roars. Juice.
I think she's serving so well on the big points, actually. Even though, yeah, her first serve, she's not getting it in all the time. On the big points, she is.
Collins has saved 4 out of 4 break points this set. Sakkari saved 2 out of 3. It has been a much closer set, this one.
Oh, yeah, already.
Goes up the tee again from Collins, and again, it's unreturnable. The Sakkari return clips the top of the net and falls back her side, and Sakkari's got her hands on her head. Advantage Collins. Another great serve from Danielle Collins. Sakkari just, I don't know if maybe she just was like cursing her luck there, because that was a difficult serve to get back.
So, yeah, that's what I was trying to work out.
Collins goes up the tee again with this serve. It's too good. Why wasn't she going up tee before? And now she's celebrating. There's another come on. And Collins is 4-2 up with a break.
Can't help but smile when she when she's like this, when she's so dominant, and even when she goes break point down, you sort of think, yeah, but she's just going to up her game. She's just going to get that first serve in. She's just going to do this, and yeah, she does it as we've come to expect.
Apparently, I've heard that Danielle Collins' other 2 WTA titles were also back-to-back.
That makes so much sense, actually. Just in terms of seeing her as someone who can take momentum and absolutely run with it.
Yeah. Sakkari goes with a backhand winner up the line. Good start to this service game. 15 love. Yeah, I'm just going to look that up. 15 love. Sakkari versus Collins here on Talking Tennis. Got lots to look forward to here as this great serve from Sakkari. Collins scrambles it just about lands in. Sakkari goes for the +1 forehand. Still, Collins gets it back. Drop shot from Sakkari, adding the writing. Collins reaches it, tries to be very clever with how she deals with it, though, and drags it wide.
She probably didn't even need to be that clever. Sakkari wasn't in a brilliant position on the court. I think she could have passed her if she hadn't gone for this sort of slice. But...
Collins' first 2 titles were in Palermo on clay at 250, and then the San Jose WTA 500. So straight from clay in Italy to American hard, actually beating Daria Kasatkina in the final.
Oh, no way.
6-3, 6-7, 6-1. The 6-7, the tie break was 12-10 Kasatkina, so it was a hard fought one.
Wow.
And then she would have gone pretty much straight into the Canadian Open in 2021, where she made the 3rd round.
Sakkari there on game point, by the way, just sort of puts too much spin almost on that forehand. It goes well long, and she sort of laughs at the shot that she's attempted there.
Yeah, I'm having a look at Collins' run at that at that Canadian Open. She beat Simona Halep in 3 sets, and then lost to Jessica Pegula in 3. 7-5 deciding set. So that's
head to head against Jessica Pegula is really bad, isn't it?
I'm surprised by that, to be honest.
It surprises me too. But I suppose watching Danielle Collins play now, you sort of struggle to believe anything.
Yeah, I mean,
bad head to head in general, but yeah, Pegula, that doesn't make too much sense to me. 5 love.
Drop shot wide from Collins, by the way. So Sakkari gets the game. They're changing ends. I think if Pegula had beaten Kasatkina, I still would have made Collins the favourite. If they played in the final, Collins the favourite.
Yeah.
Partly because the way Collins is playing, but also I can't imagine Pegula would have that much left.
Exactly. While they're changing ends, to go back to Jake's question earlier, out of curiosity, who's your favourite current tennis coach?
Do you want to do that one first?
Oh, no, because I haven't thought about it properly yet. I just brought it up.
Okay.
You go.
I was asking for your opinions on too many other things. You mean apart from Thomas Fitzgerald?
Yes, it would have to be, because otherwise we're going to have the same answer.
I mean, to be honest, actually, I think he's a very, very efficient coach. But actually, my favourite tennis coach is Brad Gilbert.
Good choice.
For one, he actually replied to me on Twitter once and gave me some good advice about how to be better at tennis.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, I think his mentality of coaching people to win ugly and get the win, even if you're playing badly, is such an important skill for any tennis player, but particularly a pro. And I really admire that sort of mentality. So for me, Brad Gilbert.
That's a great shout.
But yes, he replied to a tweet of mine because I was saying I'm struggling because I'm losing every single tennis match and I don't know what's going wrong because I'm literally trying to be as aggressive as possible. And he was like, just get the ball in. Just make the ball. Don't worry about trying to win every point. Just make the ball and make your opponent make the mistake. I'm like, all right, we'll try that. Won the next match, didn't I?
Obviously.
I then went on another losing streak because I think there are people who are legitimately better than me in this league, but it meant that I wasn't making stupid mistakes against people I was probably as good as.
Yeah, no, that's really cool and great advice. Get the ball in the court.
Collins, 15 love, goes first serve into the net. So she's starting to have an easier service game than her last few. By the way, we do have a new question from Nerlan. Is Collins the best talent we've ever seen?
Strong question. Feels a bit like a leading question, but I'll let you off. Is Collins the best talent we've ever seen? I think probably no. Would be my immediate answer. But is this run remarkable and one of the best we've seen in a while? Yes.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. This is one of the best winning streaks I've seen in a very, very long time.
In a long time, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, best talent we've ever seen? Probably not.
No. Afraid not. She's the
Backhand.
best Danielle I've ever seen.
Oh, there's only one Danielle, and she's put away that wonderful.
She's the best at it.
Backhand at the net from Collins to go to 40 love. Easier service game. So yeah, she's going to be stepping back to serve at 40 love and put herself within one game of winning this match in Charleston. Forehand looped up by Collins. Forehands up the line from Sakkari. Collins is now on the defense. Drop shot from Sakkari is not going to clear the net. Game Collins. And yeah, Sakkari's serving to stay in this. I mean,
yeah, I think she might struggle.
You might be. You might still make your bedtime.
Yes, get in. I was getting a bit worried.
You still haven't answered the favorite coach question.
No, I haven't. I think I'm going to go, and I think this apparently, according to Twitter at the moment, is quite controversial. But I am going to go with Juan Carlos Ferrero.
Okay.
Because yes, I know a lot of people have a big problem with this coaching people on every point thing. Fine. I just think it's really impressive to be able to take a very, very young talent like Carlos and nurture him not only to how good he is in tennis at the moment and how incredible he is and sort of those peaks and troughs he's had and overcoming some of the lower points already, however young he is, but also sort of I see no ego in Carlos Alcaraz, and I feel like a lot of that has to do with the way he's been coached, and I find that very impressive.
It's a good answer. Yeah, he's still pretty down to earth, even if he maybe helps more than some people like. As Collins puts an inside forehand into the net, trying to set up a love 30, 15 all on the Sakkari serve. And we did. Sean is quite right. We have missed the obvious answer with the best coach, and that's Jack Edward.
Oh, how could we do that?
So sorry, Jack. Yes,
really sorry.
I would. Yes, no, I would definitely have Jack as my coach.
Yeah, get rid of Juan Carlos Ferrero as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Look, the man with the stats, he'd be able to tell me everything that was wrong with my forehand and how often I was missing it.
That's what you want to be told, right?
Sakkari is trying to. Sakkari is saying the ball was out. It was 30-15. So Sakkari is still going to try and extend this match a little bit.
Yeah, she wants to make Danielle serve it out, and I do think Danielle will be able to serve it out, but I think it's good for Sakkari to try and force her to do that.
Sakkari goes body serve with that one. Now tries to fight with a backhand and puts it into the net. 30 all. Collins is 2 points away from the win.
How much do you consider Sakkari a confidence player? Just on the fact that I often think of her as someone who can put together a run, but as soon as that sort of there's a bit of a chink in the armor, there's a bit of a struggle, I sometimes think she can lose a lot of confidence very quickly.
Yeah, I'd completely agree with that assessment. I completely agree. If she's not feeling good, it all goes out the window. To be
Yeah.
fair, Collins is not giving opportunity to feel good as she bludgeons her with a backhand and then makes the space and hits a backhand winner. And it's match point, 30-40. That was such good setup from Collins. Pushed her back with the return and then went back behind and Sakkari was scrambling.
There's only so much we can say about how good Danielle Collins is at the moment, but yeah, incredible.
Here we go. First match point for Danielle Collins. She's going to hope she gets this first time. Sakkari serves up the tee, misses it just long. Just hits the ball over to the ball girl. Gets ready. Match point. Here in Charleston. Goes out wide with the serve. Huge return from Collins, but it doesn't matter because it was a double fault. Match point down. And Danielle Collins is into the Charleston final. 6-3, 6-3.
I hate match point double faults. I hate them so much. I don't care who's playing. I hate them so much. Poor Maria Sakkari, but Danielle Collins just far too good today. I don't think Maria Sakkari played brilliantly. I think she made quite a lot of errors. I think that sort of went downhill as the match went on and her confidence diminished, but she didn't have many chances because Danielle is just on fire.
The second set was a lot closer, even though it was a double break. It was 50 minutes. And Sakkari was trying to make it as much of a contest as possible. She had a few breakpoint chances. But yeah, there's nothing more we can say. Danielle Collins is just too good right now.
She really is. It's unbelievable. I have a trouble seeing anything other than a Danielle Collins win tomorrow. I just don't see a world in which she doesn't sort of blow Kasatkina off the court, really.
The only scenario is she runs out of gas or has a bad day, feels ill, gets injured. Like basically something bad has to happen to Danielle Collins for her to lose tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only scenario I can see. And I really don't, even the whole running out of gas thing, I just don't see it for her at the moment. You'd really think if fatigue was going to set in, it would have by now. I don't think it's going to do so in a final. I feel like the adrenaline and this run is really going to push her through. She seems so calm and relaxed on and off court.
And she's been super efficient with the way she's gone through it as well.
Absolutely.
Sean has asked us a few questions about Collins' streak, because we did say it's the best streak for a while. Completely forget about Coco Gauff's streak.
Yes, I did too. Sorry.
Yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, Coco's was really good. I think this is more noteworthy given that Danielle Collins isn't a top 10 player at the minute, whereas Coco Gauff was, and the expectation on her was a bit higher. So it's like regardless of the quality being produced, because I think got a bit scrappy for Coco towards the end of the streak. But I don't think that matters too much. As I said, like I liked the winning ugly side of things. I think Collins being out of it and coming after it is more noteworthy in some ways.
Exactly. It feels like more of a story, even though Coco's streak was obviously a story. And to stick up for Coco there, obviously to have the US Open within that streak as well only made it more and more impressive. So yeah, I did completely forget about that one, and that is definitely worth talking about.
We are talking about win streaks without winning a slam as well, like compared to win streaks that involve a slam.
Yeah.
Sean is asking, do we think another WTA player will have a longer winning streak in 2024? That's really hard to predict. That's going to involve someone like bringing it every tournament consistently in the same way as Collins has. There's only one player I can think of who could do that, and that would only be on clay.
Yes. But what player could it be? I don't think another WTA player will have a longer winning streak this year, only because I think it's tight at the top. We've got a few really good players who are going to fight it out this season, I think, and share the wins between them. And I'm not sure that one of them will be able to consistently beat all the others.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's such a competitive field on the WTA and on the ATP. But yeah, I think it's very easy to play down certain players and how good they are because we only focus on the people at the top of the mountain, and our relative assessment of these players is actually quite skewed. And the reality is that most of these players, particularly in the top 50, have that world-beating level in them. The ranking just shows how often it comes out.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it as well. And I think Danielle Collins is such brilliant proof of that we're getting at the moment, that so many of these players have the potential to beat the best players in the world, but they're just not able to every day. But Danielle is, and long may it continue. And for me, I think it's just so fun to watch.
Yeah. Do you know what? I have been thoroughly enjoying Danielle Collins' matches these last few weeks. Yeah, being absolutely, like, just the level that she's producing is just so special.
Yeah.
We're going to look back on this as one of the highlights of 2024.
Exactly. When we're talking in December about, what did you enjoy most this year? Danielle Collins is going to come up already, and it's only April. So I am very excited for the rest of her season.
Right. Well, I think probably time to start wrapping up. We've got to get some sleep. Ready for a full day of tennis tomorrow. What's your tennis schedule looking like, Kira?
Packed, especially considering I have a tennis schedule and a Formula One schedule and a football schedule to try and piece together tomorrow. So I'm going to be full on.
Oh, are you getting up for the race?
I am going to try.
Yeah, I'm considering it.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Australia, so I feel like I can force.
Australia was a no-go.
No, it did not happen for Australia.
I am fully, yeah. I didn't realize you were an F1 fan as well. Actually, I probably did know that. I can't remember if I knew that, but
no, you probably didn't. Honestly, name a sport, and I'll probably know something. I'm a bit incorrigible. So
yeah, I'm having a look at the scheduling, and of course, tennis has done the whole scheduling all the matches at the same time type thing.
Oh, always.
I don't know when the Charleston final will be. It's not coming up for me yet, but we know that the Estoril and Marrakesh finals are at the same time. 3:00 start for the Marrakesh final between Carballés Baena and Berrettini, and 3:30 start for the Martinez Hurkacz match.
I'm gonna be watching the Berrettini match on the big screen, and I'll have Estoril on a small screen, I think, for that one.
Is it Man United Liverpool on at 4?
Yeah. That will then take big screen, and then stuff on the small screens. Yeah.
Well,
really tough.
I think we're both hoping for an opposite result to what happened in the FA Cup in that one.
Thank you very much, Nick. I appreciate it. We need all the support we can get.
I'm here as a Jurgen Klopp fan,
and that is enough for me. Same here. Who isn't? People are wrong if they don't like Jurgen Klopp. We won't get into that. Anyway,
maybe certain Danish journalists, but anyway.
Charleston, though, the Charleston final, I think at least will be at a good time. Past everything else should be around, you'd think, 6, 7, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. I don't know what the stream plans are. I don't know if we're going to bring you the final or not. But I know that we'll be still bringing you plenty of behind-the-scenes action from Estoril. Obviously, John and Damien are down there, and they've been sending us lots of great content from the press conferences.
Yes. If you haven't watched their walk on the beach yet, please watch it.
Makes it sound like they're third wheeling some kind of romantic stroll.
I'm just saying, if there's anyone watching this who hasn't watched them walk on the beach, if there's one thing you take from this stream, you should watch them walk on the beach.
It was a good watch. They have. I was going to say they have good chemistry. That's just perpetuating the rumours. So let's stop before we go too far. Okay. Right. It's been brilliant as always, Kira. Hopefully we do this again very, very soon. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope to talk to you soon. And I will say that whenever it is that I see you again, all I ask that in between, you take care and keep talking tennis.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.